Hi, my name is Carl Elmore, and I'm here to interview John Branch. Nice to be with you, John. I just have a couple questions I'd like to ask you about your acting career.
Sure.
So, when did you start acting, and what was your first big role?
I started doing acting in middle school. I was always a class clown, and I always enjoyed watching sitcoms, and I was really impressed with people. And my sister was getting into acting at the same time, so I kind of followed in her footsteps and started doing theater in there, and then went to high school for theater. I went to a performing arts school for theater my last 2 years of high school. Something like this, but it was back in the day, so it wasn't quite as expensive as this. But my first big role wasn't actually a role, but it really had an impact on me. I was being an extra. I was still in high school, and I was being an extra on a movie Teachers. It's about teachers. And Nick Nolte was in it. And one day his stand-in couldn't make it. He got a gig or something. So they asked me, "Hey, you're tall." I was friendly with everybody because I've been there for a couple of weeks. And said, "Would you like to stand in for Nick Nolte?" And standing in and having the lights around you, and then being with the cast for the next couple of weeks was this really cool experience. I felt like part of the team, and just having the lights on, and people. I had to even put makeup on me because he had a really dark complexion at the time. So it wasn't really a speaking role, but it just had an impact on me. Like, this is pretty cool to be part of this, and then being like the inner circle instead of being, the extra, just like your cattle call in the back, having, But being in that little inner circle was really interesting. My first big speaking role, though, I got pretty lucky. I was a bad guy in a gangster movie. I got a squib, I got shot, and it was really pretty cool. And I had some speaking roles, so that was really cool.
What film was that?
It's called Charlie Valentine.
Charlie Valentine? All right, cool. Who or what was your inspiration to become an actor?
Well, I'm probably going to age myself here, but I was really I was really a big Robin Williams fan. Mork and Mindy was just ending, and I just thought that was, just to be able to do that, being so off the wall and crazy and have fun. I was always a class clown getting in trouble. It's like, wait, you can get paid for this? And also, I was a fan of the Carol Burnett show. I used to watch reruns, Carol Burnett with Tim Conway and Harvey Korman. I really liked they're just having so much fun up there. It's like, something like that I want to do. So I think Robin Williams and maybe the Carol Burnett show, really.
Did you have any prior experience or any training before you started acting?
Not really. Well, like I said, I was interested in acting, so I started. I didn't take acting class, but I did take drama in high school, and that was my start. And then, like I said, I went to performing arts school for theater my last 2 years, and we had some training there as well. And so by the time I started getting roles, I already had probably like 3 or 4 years of experience. Classroom experience, not really on-the-job experience, but classroom experience and building up to that. So I didn't feel like I was overwhelmed when I first started. It was a nice build-up to getting into that. And of course, since then, I've taken numerous workshops and different classes and stuff.
I know you mentioned Nick Nolte, but have you worked with any other notable actors, and if so, who?
Well, I also, another time I was an extra, and they needed a stand-in, and I doubled Chevy Chase. One time, and who else? Oh, I did a movie a couple years ago with Eric Roberts, and with Martin Cove, is that his name? From Karate Kid.
What film was that?
That was Fake News. It's called Fake News, and Eric Roberts played a reporter trying to get to the bottom of it. And I had a small role in that, but I was also kind of an assistant director with that, and that was a lot of fun just being around the cast the whole time. And we also had John Hurt on that, and
I love John Hurt.
Yeah, he's great. Well, those are the big ones that I actually really got the contact. I've been to some big movies like extra, like I was kind of a glorified extra in Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt, and that was kind of cool being up close and personal with them because we were part of the SWAT team that attacked them at the end. So that was kind of fun.
I know you also mentioned to me that you were an extra on Scorsese's Casino as well.
Yeah, I was. I actually got to work with a lot of great directors, which was really cool. Taylor Hackford, Arthur Hiller, Martin Scorsese, the guy who did Moonlight. Oh gosh, I can't think of his name.
Barry Jenkins?
Yep. Got to work on him. I had a small role as a bartender on the Amazon Underground Railroad with that. And it's just so interesting to watch all these big-time directors, how they work with actors. They're mostly, a lot of them are really hands-off. That's why I always I thought that was like, they kind of tell me what you want to do, and then you kind of do it. Instead of like nitpicking, no, try it like this. They kind of give you the synopsis and what they want, and they kind of let you do it, and they're like, all right, that was good. But everyone has their own little quirks and stuff, and it's just really a privilege to watch all these different famous directors working.
Yeah.
Remember, I was working with, I was an extra in E-Ring one time. I was just, it was a Pentagon drama, and I was right in the middle of, I played, oh gosh, I can't think of his name now. Taylor Hackford and, who was an Easy Rider? James Fonda and,
Jack Nicholson?
no, I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But Taylor Hackford and his actor got in such a big fight because the actor didn't think he would do that, and it was just so interesting. Like, because this is Taylor Hackford talking, but it's also, oh my gosh, I can't think of the guy's name now. That's gonna bug me. He was in Blue Velvet.
Haven't seen that one.
But it was just so interesting. It's like, wow, I was just really impressed with that. Like, this guy was really standing up. Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper. He was, I think he could do that, you know. This is Taylor Hackford, you know. He was a famous director, I think Academy Award-winning director. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, well, and it was just so interesting to me. Like, that is so cool. An actor just standing up for what he thought the character would do. And that had a big impact on me as well.
What would you say is the best short film, or television show that you've acted in?
As quality for the show, or what I felt I did?
What you felt.
I did this movie. I was kind of the lead. It was called Tune Out, and I played a older man who had dementia, and I'm kind of a goofball. I kind of lean toward comedy, and it was hard not to lean toward, you know, making fun of somebody because they can't remember what's going on, and it was such a hard line to, you know, make it kind of humorous, but just like, oh man, it's too bad. So I had to really walk the line of not being over the top, goofy, but really show, you know, what these people go through. And it turns out that he had music was his outlet, and they didn't know that. And he gave him a guitar, and it turned out he was a really good guitar player, and it kind of brought him out of his little stupor. But I felt really proud of that because it was hard to. I felt it was a tough line to walk. Instead of just going for the joke, going for the funny part.
Yeah.
You know, I really had to kind of bring it back a little bit. So I thought that was a really fun role.
Is there any big name actor or director that you haven't worked with yet that you really want to work with?
Well, Christopher Nolan, I was always impressed. Everything he does is just phenomenal, you know, and the way he, you know, I've seen backstage, behind the scenes looks of how he directs, and he's just really good with actors. You know, you really appreciate. He's not really an actor himself, but I do appreciate directors that can deal with actors, that can, you know, emulate with them, can get their feelings, what they want to get across, and like understand where they're coming from. Instead of like, this is how I want it. Well, this is how I feel. Well, no, I want it this way. Instead of like, oh, tell me about that. How do you want to approach that? I feel like he's an actor's director.
How important do you feel a director communicating with you about what they want from your performance is?
Oh, like I was just saying, I think it's very important. You know, you're there for the director. I want to give the director, you know, I get hired for something. It's their project. It's not my project. It's their project, and I want to bring everything I can to them. So I'd like to bring my own ideas. You know, I like to bring my own ideas and what I feel, and then have a conversation or talk about how they want to present a scene. And I think it's very important. Instead of, you know, I don't mind hands off. I don't mind, you know, somebody telling me what to do. I don't mind that at all. But I do appreciate them taking in what I have to offer, and just like, you know, this is what I might go against that. This is what I feel like. Okay, but this is my angle. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with that. I'll try that, because I am there for them. I'm not there for an ego project or, you know, to make to pad my resume. I'm there to make this project look good. I'm there for you. So just tell me what you want, and I'll give it to you, and hopefully we can come to a truce. Maybe not a truce, but come to an understanding of how to get it across.
What are things that you don't want a director to say or do to you as an actor when you're on set?
There's not much, really. I know some actors I know don't like line reads, you know, like the director's like, let me give you a line read. You know, I don't mind that at all. I've never really been offended or anything from what a director would give me direction, because I feel like, you know, I'll give it a go. I'll give that a try. It's not what I feel we should do right now, but I'll give it a go if you would like that. But I've never really felt that oh, I don't want to live to try that. It's like, yeah, I'll try anything. I'll do anything. Uh, even if it goes against characters, I try to. I hope that they explain what they want to accomplish by that. It's like if I disagree with it, hopefully they have the time, temperament to tell me, well, this is how I feel. This is why I think we should do it, and I'll be like, okay. But a line read or anything like that, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, in our class, our teacher's very much like, you really don't want to give actors line reads, so.
I don't mind. I've had directors do that. Just you're not getting it. This is what I want. I'm like, all right, and I'll still give it my own little flair. But I'm not offended by that.
How much freedom are you usually given when you're interpreting your characters that you play?
It really depends on the director. I try to read the script and I give my own interpretation of it. So I feel like I bring a lot to it. But of course, usually I have before any project I do, I talk to directors. Like, this is where I'm coming from. Is it on the same page? And he's like, well, no, I think you could be a little more this and that. I'm like, all right, I'll take that in consideration. So, I feel like I've never really had to do homework, like as in, I did look up when I was doing the dementia guide. I did kind of look up and look at some videos of people with dementia and had to struggle a little bit, but I've never actually played a real person, so I've never really had to really delve deep into, all my characters are brand new, they're not, they're all fiction, they're not based on anybody. But I usually get a lot of leeway, and sometimes I I'm just lean toward comedy too much sometimes, if I see a joke, I'm going to try to squeeze it in there. It's like, this guy's not more of a joker. And, as the trouble I had with the dementia guys, like, don't go for the laughs, bring it back a little bit and be a little more serious. So, just the goofball in class of me trying to do that.
Yeah.
But, usually I feel like I'm pretty free about bringing what I want to the character and discussing with the director. Hopefully it's the same thing.
This is my last question for you. I know you mentioned about working with Christopher Nolan, but are there any other future goals that you have with your acting career?
Well, it's silly, but I've always wanted to do a Western. But, I've been a working actor. I've got my SAG card in 2003, and I've been a working actor since then. Nothing, every now and then a big role come along, nothing big, not crazy big, but I've made a living doing it. And, as long as I just keep on making a living, I'm not doing this to get famous, make a lot of money, and I haven't, either way. But I'm doing what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be an actor and make a living as an actor, and I've been doing that for 20-some years, and as long as I can keep on doing it.
It's been an absolute privilege interviewing you, John. I've had a great experience working with you, and I wish you all the best with all these things. I really hope you do get to work with Christopher Nolan. I'd love to see your name pop up in the credits for one of his films. So, thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.